You ever met someone who was clearly smart, like, really smart, but couldn't seem to get it together? Here's what most people get wrong. They call it laziness. They call it a bad attitude. But what if I told you it's actually a brain skill, one that nobody ever taught them? One that schools don't teach, parents don't know to teach, and most adults are still figuring out themselves? That skill has a name. It's called executive function. And once you understand it, a whole lot of things start to make sense. Executive function is basically your brain's management system. It's the set of mental skills that help you plan, start, focus, remember things, manage your time, control your emotions, and shift from one task to another. Think of it like the CEO of your brain. When the CEO is working well, everything runs. When the CEO is overwhelmed, burnt out, or just never got properly trained, things fall apart, even if the rest of the team is talented. Researchers actually break executive function into several core skills. We're going to keep it simple today, but here are the big ones. Working memory, holding information in your head while you use it. Cognitive flexibility, being able to shift gears when things change. Inhibitory control, the ability to pause before you react. Task initiation, actually starting something, even when you don't feel like it. Planning and organization, breaking things down and knowing what comes first. Time management, understanding how long things take and planning accordingly. Emotional regulation, managing big feelings so they don't hijack everything else. These aren't personality traits. They're not fixed. They are skills. And skills can be learned, practiced, and strengthened at any age. Here's where it gets frustrating. Executive function skills develop from childhood all the way through your mid-20s. That whole time, most schools are focused on teaching content, history, math, reading, science. But almost nobody is explicitly teaching kids how to learn, how to plan, how to manage their time, how to start a task they're dreading. We just assume kids will pick it up. And some do, usually because they had structure at home, or a teacher who modeled it, or they just happen to naturally develop those skills early. But a lot of kids don't pick it up. And by the time they get to high school, or college, the gap shows up in a big way. And here's the kicker. For students with ADHD, autism, anxiety, learning differences, or even just high stress and trauma, executive function is often the exact area where they struggle most. Not because they're not smart. Not because they're not trying. But because their brain genuinely processes and regulates differently, and nobody gave them the tools. I want to make this real for you, so let me paint a picture. It looks like a student who knows the assignment is due, and still can't make themselves start it. It looks like a teenager who loses everything. Every single day, not because they're careless, but because their working memory is overloaded. It looks like a college freshman who was on the honor roll in high school, and is now failing 2 classes because nobody is telling them what to do anymore and they have no idea how to manage their own time. It looks like an adult who has 17 tabs open, 3 unfinished projects, and a to-do list they haven't looked at in a week. Not because they don't care, but because starting feels impossible. Sound familiar? If you're nodding right now, whether you're a student, a parent, or an educator, you're in the right place. Here's the good news. Executive function is not a life sentence. These are learnable skills. There are real strategies, real systems, and real support that makes a difference, for students, for adults, for anyone whose brain needs a different approach. On this channel, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. Practical strategies for executive function. Support for neurodivergent students making big transitions. Resources for parents who are trying to figure out how to help. And tools for educators and institutions who want to do better for their students. We're going to go deep on all of it. If you found this video helpful, subscribe so you don't miss what's coming. And drop a comment below. Tell me, which executive function skill do you struggle with the most? I read every single one. I'm Tiffany Hudson, Executive Function and Creative Consultant. And I'll see you in the next video.